I was born into a family of singers, and from an early age I knew I wanted to follow in their footsteps. But there was one big problem. I was told my voice was useless. For years, I hid away, ashamed of the voice that nobody wanted to hear. That was until one day when I decided to take a big risk. I got on the metro, went into the middle of the crowd and started singing. What happened next was like a scene out of a movie. People stopped what they were doing, pulled out their phones and started recording. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Here today, I'll be taking you through my emotional redemption arc, where the voice that made me feel so ashamed ended up being my greatest strength. My whole life, I've been surrounded by music. My mom sang in an opera house, my dad played guitar for bands, and even my older brother was part of a choir. Music was just something that always filled our home. It was only natural that I fell in love with it too. When I was 6, I would watch my brother practice his songs, and then run to our old piano in the corner of our house, and try to imitate him. I remember my dad coming in and seeing me at the piano. He stopped, smiled, and said, "You have your mother's gift." Then he started teaching me songs. I learned how to read notes, how to play chords, and how to harmonize. I felt so proud when I finally learned how to play my favorite song, My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. The feeling of accomplishment was amazing. I could play the whole song without stopping and my fingers flew across the keys. But this happiness didn't last long, because after I finished the song, my dad came in again and listened to me play. "It's good," he said afterwards, "but if you want to become a singer, you're going to need more than just the piano. You need a good voice." I thought I had a great voice. So when he suggested I join the church choir, I agreed. I started practicing right away, and after 2 weeks of daily practice, I was ready. The first time I stepped on stage and sang in front of everyone, I was met with silence. No applause, no cheers, just awkward silence. I couldn't believe it. I had practiced so much and thought everyone would love my voice, but they didn't say a word. When I got off the stage, people just walked past me without saying anything. Some even shook their heads and whispered things I couldn't hear. I ran to the bathroom and cried. I looked at myself in the mirror and asked why. Why wasn't anyone praising me? Why did they all look so disappointed? I tried to convince myself that maybe they just needed to get used to my voice, but deep down, I knew it wasn't true. That same week, I told my parents about joining the choir. They were both very supportive. But when I told them about the show, my dad said, "You know, I think you should stop singing for now. Maybe in a few years your voice will change and you can start again." I felt so betrayed. Didn't they think I was talented? Did they not believe in me? I stopped singing and playing the piano. I didn't want to pursue music anymore. I gave up on my dream. For several years, I lived a quiet life. I graduated high school and college and got a normal job. Every day I went to work, came home and watched TV. I was so focused on living a normal life that I did unnotice how unhappy I really was. Sure, I had a job and a place to live, but that's about it. I didn't have any friends or hobbies, and I spent most of my free time alone. I felt like there was something missing in my life, like a puzzle piece that didn't fit. I couldn't figure out what was wrong until one day when I heard a song on the radio. It reminded me of why I loved music and how much I missed playing the piano. So I went online and bought a new piano. This time it was digital. I put it in my living room, and every day after work I would sit down and play. It almost felt like therapy. I could express myself without words, and each song I played was like a release. It brought me so much joy. One day, while I was playing, I suddenly stopped. I realized that although I loved playing the piano, it wasn't enough. I also wanted to sing again. But the thought of people hearing my voice and making fun of me scared me. What if they were right, and I really did have a bad voice? Would I ever be able to overcome that pain? I wasn't sure, but I wanted to try. First, I started small. I would sing along to my favorite songs in the shower. Then I began singing in front of my piano at home. It took months, but slowly my confidence grew. I started writing my own songs, and one day, I decided it was time to perform again. I found a local bar that had an open mic night and signed up. The day of the show arrived and I went to the bar early to prepare. My hands were shaking as I walked onto the stage and sat down at the piano. As I started to play my first song, the nerves started to go away and I felt more comfortable with each chord I played and each word I sang. After the show, a few people came up to me and said they loved my voice. They told me I should keep singing and that they would come to my next show. It meant a lot to me, because it was the first time in years that someone had praised my voice. I was so happy that night. I felt like I had finally found my place. But then, reality hit. After that first show, I never got another gig. I kept trying, but every time I was told that my voice wasn't good enough. They said it lacked emotion, power, and technique. I was heartbroken. I didn't know what to do. I felt lost and unsure of myself again. One day, a friend of mine invited me to go with her to the metro. I agreed, and we headed to the station. We got on the train and started riding in silence. Suddenly, the lights went out and the train stopped. "What's happening?" I asked. Just then, a man in a suit got on the train. He looked stressed and started yelling at everyone. "This train is delayed, and we don't know how long it will be out of service. I suggest you all get off at the next station." I grabbed my friend's arm. "I don't want to be trapped on this train with a bunch of strangers." She understood, and we left. We walked to the other side of the platform so we could get away from the crowd. As we waited for the next train, I noticed a group of teenagers walking towards us. I could tell they were trouble. "Let's get out of here before they bother us," I said, but my friend stopped. "No, let's stay. I want to see what they're gonna do." I rolled my eyes. These kinds of groups of kids were always starting fights or bothering people. I didn't want to be anywhere near them. But my friend was already sitting down on a bench, so I sat next to her. The kids approached us and I held my breath. They were getting closer and closer. Just as they were about to reach us, I heard one of them say, "Hey, wanna see something funny? Let's ask this lady to sing for us." They all laughed and turned to me. I couldn't believe it. They wanted me to sing. But then I realized that they weren't just asking me because they liked my voice. They were trying to humiliate me. I knew if I refused, they would force me to do it. So I took a deep breath and started singing. As I sang, I closed my eyes and imagined that it was just another performance. I poured all my emotion into the song, and when I finished, the whole platform was silent. Nobody said a word. They just stared at me. I opened my eyes and saw dozens of phones pointing at me. Someone had started recording and uploaded my performance to social media. Within seconds, it went viral. Thousands of people were watching and sharing the video. A few days later, I got a call from a talent scout. "I saw your video and I think you're amazing. Would you like to audition for a singing competition?" I couldn't believe it. My dream was finally coming true. Thanks to those kids who had made fun of me and posted my video online, I got my big break. I competed in the singing competition and won. Afterwards, I was offered a contract with a major record label and released my first album. Today, I'm a successful singer and songwriter, and I have those kids to thank. If they hadn't humiliated me and posted my video, I wouldn't be where I am today. I know it sounds cliché, but it's true. They helped me become the star I am today. Thank you for watching my story. Please subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know what you think. And if you want to hear more crazy stories, click the video on screen now.